Good, cheap, and easy. Sometimes you can never get all three, but today I'm going to show you how that's possible. If you're anything like me, I'm tired of paying a steakhouse a ridiculous amount of money for something that I can do at home for way cheaper, and it's going to taste a lot better. Before we get started here, I just want to add a quick disclaimer. After watching this video today and after trying this recipe, I'm going to ruin any other steak that you have ever eaten in your entire life, and you're never going to want to go to a steakhouse ever again. Let's make some steak. So first and most important thing is, what steak do you need to buy? As you can see, there are so many different types of cuts of steak you can get for different prices. We're just gonna keep it simple, get a $9 ribeye. Also make sure you grab some Worcestershire. And as you can see, there are so many different types of seasonings you can get. Anything will go well with steak, but my personal favorite is the smokehouse maple. Something you really wanna look for though, in steak is the intramuscular fat. That literally just means the fat that's in the muscle. The more intramuscular fat you have, the more flavor that's going to add to the steak, because that's just going to melt right into the meat as you cook. So being that this is a cheap steak and doesn't have a lot of fat, we want to make it taste as tender and as good as possible. So something that's cheap, easy, and quick that you can do to achieve that is fork tenderizing it. What you're just going to do is you're just going to take a fork that you have and just simply pretty much just stab your steak, and you're gonna dedicate the next 2 minutes of your life just poking as many holes into this steak as possible. And once you're done with this side here, just give it a flip and do the same thing to the other side. So once you're all finished up with that here, another way that's gonna make your steak taste way more flavorful is just a little bit of marinade. And you don't have to go crazy with mixing a bunch of different stuff for a perfect marinade. I'm literally using Worcestershire. Yeah, try saying that 5 times fast. From Giant here. So we're just gonna take our steak that we just tenderized, and you're gonna put it in a bag here. Okay, plate out of the way. I'm just gonna take a good amount of Worcester here. Get it all over your steak. Put it in there. Okay. Don't need to go too crazy because we don't want it to taste too salty. There's a lot of sodium in Worcester. So then once you have that, you're just gonna zip your bag almost closed. Squeeze the air out, okay? Close it the rest of the way, make sure it's closed the rest of the way, and then just massage the Worcester into the steak here. Let that sit in the fridge for about 15 minutes, and then you wanna take it out after about 7 to 8 minutes, flip it, and then do the same thing, kind of massage the Worcester into the steak there again, and then take that out after another 8 minutes. While that is marinating, we're gonna go out and start our grill. So the grill is the most expensive part of this whole demonstration. This is just your ordinary Weber charcoal grill. It's gonna run you probably around, I think it's like 80 to 100 bucks, but it's a great investment. You can grill as many steaks as you want. Right here at home, you can do salmon, pretty much anything you want as long as you just maintain it. So just like all the different kinds of steaks and seasonings, there's also so many different kinds of charcoal out there. I just went with a mesquite flavor. It's gonna add kind of that same smoky taste to your steak, but really any kind of charcoal is gonna add a very signature charcoal grilled taste to your steak that I think is better than gas or cooking it inside on a skillet. If you want to make your experience a little bit easier, you can get Match Light. I'm going to have to use a chimney to start my charcoal. I'll show you how to do that real quick. So to make the starting process a little bit easier, I purchased some of these fire starters here. You can get a whole pack for like $5 at like Dollar General or something like that. So go ahead, throw 2 of those down. You're going to put your chimney on top of them here, and then you're just going to fill your chimney up with charcoal. So while you're waiting for the chimney to start catching a little bit more, this is a great time to start preparing your sides. It's gonna take a very short amount of time to actually cook your steak, only about 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how well you want it done. So while that is out there getting started, I'm just gonna make some broccoli. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your steak out of the fridge, okay? And you want to let it sit a little bit before you actually throw it on the grill. And this is because if it goes on the grill cold, it's not going to cook evenly on the inside. So it might look like it's cooked on the outside, but because that internal temperature is a lot colder, you might not get the doneness that you want. And to prevent that, we let it warm up a little bit in room temperature, and then we'll throw it right on the grill. So once you see that your chimney has some flames coming out of it, and you can see that the top charcoals have caught on fire, go ahead and carefully pour all those charcoals down into your grill. I had already done that. And so you just want to set the grill back on top of the charcoals. Let it warm up for probably about 10 minutes just so that grill's nice and hot when you throw the steak on. So once your grill's done heating up, what you're going to do is you're going to take some olive oil, avocado oil, vegetable oil, whatever kind of oil you have laying around. Do not use an aerosol can because that is highly flammable. I just thought I would state that just for safety reasons. Take a napkin. This is going to be a little risky, but it's going to help your steak not stick to the grill. You're just going to take a little bit of oil, put it on your napkin here, and just rub it right across the top of the grill. Okay, so now that your steak is down to room temperature, your grill has oil on it, you're ready to throw the steak on. Go ahead, take your steak out of the bag, throw it on that grill. So just to make sure you have a good, nice, sturdy spatula out here and ready. This is only gonna take about 2 minutes for like a medium rare. I think it's about a 140 internal temperature for medium rare. So if you have a steak thermometer or a meat thermometer, that's fine, you can use that, but you can also judge based off the look and how it kind of feels when you're flipping it. And make sure you have your seasoning ready as well. Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes here. As you can see, we got a nice char going. So we're just gonna do one nice flip. And then after you make that flip, just go ahead and season heavily on the side you just turned over. I like to use a spatula here to kind of get that seasoning in there. And set that back on there and let that go for another 2 minutes. So we're on the last 2 minutes here of cooking our steak. Just make sure that you have some foil ready. You want to wrap that around a dinner plate. And then that way, once your 2 minutes is out, you can throw that steak right on the plate, let it rest for a little bit, and then we'll be ready to eat soon. Okay, so our timer just went off for the last 2 minutes here. We're just gonna flip it again. Here. Let it sit for a little bit and go ahead and flip it again just to get that crusted on your steak. So once your steak is at the temperature you want it at, just go ahead, take it right off the grill here. Put it on your plate with foil. Wrap that up and take it inside. Thing to note here about your steak is once you take it off the grill, even though it's not on the grill, since it's so warm, it's actually going to continue to cook a little bit. So you want that to rest for about 5 to 10 minutes before you actually start eating it. And then that'll get it to the desired temperature that you want it at. So we're just gonna let this rest here for a little bit, get our veggies out of the microwave, and then we're ready to go. Perfect medium rare. As you can see, it does not take much to make an amazing steak at home, and I promise you, once you try it, you're not going to want to go to another steakhouse again. I hope you know what you need to look for now when picking out a steak, and just think of all the seasonings you can use. You can definitely do anything different from what I did in this video to make your own variation. I hope you feel confident enough to grill now, and as always, enjoy.